Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. To my peers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, it's going to be a mystery video again. So it's going to be something where you guys already know the topic of today's video per the thumbnail or the title, but I personally do not know what we're going to be heading into until the end of the video. So that's kind of the advantage that you guys are going to get. So this is again another blind reading. This is being recorded on Tuesday, January 21st at 12:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as of when I am recording this video. This video is for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. And everything I say in this video is just for alleged purposes. And anything I say or do is just for entertainment. Now, with that being out of the way and being said, we are now going to delve right into the main meaty part of today's video. But before we do, if you can help out the channel in any way you can, by liking, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, commenting in the comment section below, or even watching this video longer than you watched my other videos in the past, that is considered engagement and tells the algorithm, hey, I like this video or like this content, show me more of his videos, but also show me other psychic tarot card videos and astrology videos as well. So definitely do that, and that also helps grow the channel, but also help grow the algorithm and help it be more accurate and tailored for you. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to have a lot to talk about. Well, as we all know from yesterday, Trump was inaugurated per the way that it was going to go. I did talk about this in my video a long time ago, how he's going to do it if he was to get in. All he needed to do was to get rid of Biden and put Kamala in. Because I said that a Biden-Harris ticket would be able to defeat him, but a Harris or a woman ticket without Biden would not be able to defeat him. Not saying that, that supersedes the ability for him to rig election. That's an entirely different ordeal in itself. But according to that reading, I did say in that reading, I did put that if under national circumstances, is the word I use, under national circumstances. But I'll put the link to that video in below, and then we'll do a reaction video in another video, and we'll react to what I said back then, and we'll try to understand what taken place. And I do want to talk about another video that I did. It was a dream video. Some of you guys may have remembered or recall. I did a dream video about me seeing Hitler. So I will put a link to that in the description below, and we'll do a reaction video to that video and see if maybe we can understand some of the information that we received. So with that being said, we are going to jump into the reading of today's video and kind of see what's at play here and kind of see what comes up in the cards and what we need to talk about. I just released a video, 2 videos, well, actually 1 video yesterday, well, last night, and it's regarding this book, if you have not watched it already. The first one is called The World As We Know It, and this was also done on January 20, 2025. And then the other one is this Be Not Afraid, and this is also recorded on January 20th, 2025, which I highly recommend you go and check it out. I know some of you guys have said that you felt like it was directed at you. It wasn't. It was more so directed at me and possibly others as well who were basically exposing the plan in advance. And that was causing some major issues. Now, going back to the Psychic Challenge book here, let's see what we said here regarding Inauguration Day. It says here, Inauguration Day will be a day of reckoning for the many. Many will go as many will stay. Which we have seen, a lot of people will have a mass exodus now that this has officially taken place. Because it says here, day will be a day of reckoning for the many. Which means there will be a reckoning for those of the higher population. People who didn't want this outcome will now undergo a reckoning. Which is exactly what happened. Now, the further hone this in, we talked about in the past 3 impeachments will befell the next president, for that he had already committed 2 major crimes outside the scope of being in office. He sold them out and gave documents away. We all know exactly who this is, and the key word here was he. The next president was going to be a he, not a she. So, and it says here, Harris may take her rightful place, but not before she finds and meets a young male. She didn't meet a young male, right? Tim Walz is not likely to become vice president as we have other plans for him. But it makes a lot more sense now when you start to understand the whole thing of it. Like, what's going on here. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to jump into the main part of today's video, and we'll see what comes up. That's how we're going to do this. Alright, so Spirits and Angels, tell me about what it is that we need to talk about today. Now, I do want to mention, today is the planetary alignment. This is when all the planets start to align. It's a very rare astrological event, so if you want to go outside and go check it out, definitely recommend you do so tonight. But it's an astrological alignment. It coincided with the inauguration, so the first full day of Trump's term as president, the first day really, we had the planetary alignment, something that aligned in position. And then 9 days later in lunar year, the Chinese lunar year, we entered the year of the snake, which is big event, major changes, and that will further amplify the energy of Pluto return in the United States. And we'll talk about that in another video, unless it shows up in this video, which I don't think it will, but if it does, we'll talk about it. Spirit Angels, tell me, what exactly do we need to talk about? Okay, so there is a challenge here already. Okay, what is the challenge? This is domestic. Ooh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's about right. Okay, so it looks like to me we're talking about the economy. And here we have the Empress card at the bottom. Alright, so this is kind of like the Empress card is a resemblance of a mother, right? A mother nature now. Why is the woman at the bottom of the card very significant? Because, and I don't mean to be in a sexist in any way, but if you remember, women are very good with finances, right? They're very good. They're very well known to be very cordial. Despite the fact that they are big spenders and big shoppers, they're very cordial with money, and they're very good with financial register and be able to make sure they keep track of all the money, making sure everything's going in certain ways, they do taxes and all that, etc. That is why that comes on the bottom of the card here. It represents the role of the women. What do women do? They handle finances. So I'm not saying that women are supposed to be doing that, but I'm saying that they're the better gender that is better equipped at maintaining and ensuring finances are in order and making sure that that is stable. So that is very significant because the first thing that we had here, at first I thought it was the election. Everything was going on about the election, but as I started to go under and underneath the Tower card, we have the 9 of Pentacles, which I'm going to show you right now, because we have the reverse, 2 of Wands, followed by the Tower card upright, aided by the Capitol in reverse, which is the White House, with the election, but in this case, this is how people voted, this is who they voted for, and because it wasn't for a woman is good for finances, she's the bottom of the deck, not the top of the deck, therefore she's reversed. They didn't vote for the woman, they voted for the man, and because of that, they're going to realize that the money's going to tank, and by this point, there will be unhappy situation, disapproval within the White House, and then here we have underneath the way people voted, they voted for the woman. Now, why is this significant? This is significant because this is the Republican card, right? This is the Republican, right? This has always been my card for Republican because Republicans are not very well known for receiving justice. We all know that. We all see that. It's not a psychic prediction to know that. That this is the justice card. It is a challenge to the domestic. Now, the Republicans are challenging everything domestically, which means we're going to enter into an economic, again, everything that I say here in terms of financial advice or anything financially, I'm not legally, what's it called? I cannot be sued for because this is just entertainment purposes only, and everything I say here is not financial advice, it's just entertainment only. Anyway, with that being said, going back to what I'm getting in the cards here, we have the Justice card, which is the Republican challenge is domestic, which means domestic foreign. So maybe that might be domestic stocks, the US dollar, and the economy and jobs and unemployment levels and stuff like that. So that is the challenge to this, which is why the 2 of Wands is reversed, being challenged by the Justice card. It also doesn't help the fact that the Tower card, which is a major card moment, which means that we are going to enter into a crash. we're going to enter into a crash. I talked about this before, and I'll put the link to all my economy videos in the description below. You can definitely see how I talked about how AI and the next big crash that's coming is going to be because of AI in particular. This was before like ChatGPT and all these AI technology that we are aware of today. I stated that the economy was going to tank solely on, well, because we're going to have a pandemic of some type. But then also we were going to experience a major downturn because the people who didn't lose their jobs in 2020, because it kind of stabilized under Biden a bit, those people who didn't lose their jobs in 2020 are guaranteed to lose their jobs in, what's it called, during this next depression or recession. It looks like that is almost set in stone. That has been set in stone. It doesn't look like that's shifting or changing anytime soon. These are more of those quote-unquote jobs like grocery stores, things that are not recession-proof. Those are the places where you would expect the biggest turnover. We kind of saw some places like that have high turnover back in 2020. However, this is going to be more severe because back in 2020, we had people who were in like grocery stores and all those places because they were considered heroes at the time, but they kept everything working even through the pandemic. In this aspect, they're saying that even though they kept those things open, they're going to be the things that's less likely to be dependent on human employment and more dependent on robotic employment. And that can be a major problem going forward, that this robot and AI is going to be causing major issues. And at the time, I didn't understand why robots were coming into play, except that it was going to be big and huge. And now we enter in the age of Aquarius, which I did not even know we were entering into at that time. Now we know the age of Aquarius is all about technology, and there's no better person for the White House at this point in time in the age of Aquarius and technology, and that's none other than Elon Musk. So, with that being said, the economy looks like it's going to start taking a tank pretty quickly because it's being challenged domestically by the Republicans. So the Republicans are challenging the economy to the point where the economy is going to crash. Now, going back into the reading again, we have here the White House in reverse, which tells me that the White House is unable to control it. It feels like this is an uncontrollable situation. It's inevitable. We talked about this before in my psychic book as well, and let me tell you what it says here, just so you can kind of understand about what is taking place and what exactly is happening. It says here on December 31st, 2024, which I can verify this because this is what it wrote here on this page. I think it's on this page here. Yeah, okay, so it's up here. It's like the second box. But it says here, the economy shall roar one last time this decade of the century. So it basically means the economy will go up one last time and then will come crashing down, and it won't really recover back to the same point until we leave the century back going into 2030s. So that's kind of like what it said here. We also say here as well, happiness will plague the world while others will live in desolate of such plague. So potentially it's talking about another pandemic, an epidemic, even like emotion turmoil, things like that in that regard. Again, there's nothing to be afraid of, but rather just be in a state of preparedness and understanding about the world around us. This is the inevitable. I said this before that I would rather actually, and I said this in that video, I said I'd rather prefer a Republican as president than a Democrat because at least the Republican will be having a short term in the White House rather than a Democrat will only have one term. You're better off having a Republican in the White House and have them get removed pretty quickly or have his power limited by the midterms. So I do think that we're going to be headed into an economic crash. It feels rather soon than it is longer. I did state that it was going to be taking place around 2025 all the way to 2027. It was going to happen within that time frame, but this reading feels like it's happening a lot sooner than, well, it's happening on par, but it's happening in the earlier years of my projection in terms of that regard. Now, I read energy. I don't read prediction. I just tell you what the current energies are, and I can tell you right now the energies have not shifted from the last time I read on this, and it's been months ago. Many months ago. I think it's almost been a year since I read on this, and the energy has not changed. Now, going back into the reading again, we have the woman in reverse because the people did not vote for the women. That's why the White House is reversed, because they're unable to control the economic damage and economic downturn that we are currently experiencing. And because of this kind of cups here upright, which means it's the election, people chose the money man thinking, oh, he's going to run and make us profit. But really what they don't understand is that a businessman is not there to make profit for the people or for the consumer. It's to make profit for the investors. And the investors in this aspect is the oligarchy. Now, underneath the domestic case, we also have the woman in reverse, which means that domestically, this is not going to go well for the Trump administration. Under the Tower card, this is the Great Fortune card, and this is a lot of money. This is the economy card. The Tower card tanked the economy. The economy is tanking. Without a doubt, it's tanking. Under the Four of Wands here, we have a lack of celebration. This tells me, like, when I first put this card down, the first thing I got was job approval. His job approval rating is going to be crap. When this happens, people are going to be pissed. So, I'm not surprised. I'm not really surprised that this comes in. And underneath the Ten of Cups here, we have the High Priestess in reverse. He loses power. So I'm not saying he loses power and maybe he doesn't step down or resign. I don't see that. But what I do see instead that he loses his control on certain areas. Maybe that means in certain areas of government. Maybe he loses control on certain aspects or certain demographic of people. He loses control of something. It could be even control of his own anger. It could be that as well. It could be a multiple different things, but he loses control in some capacity when this economy crashes. Now this is interesting because going back and if you watch my previous video where we talk about my 2 psychic challenge and understanding what took place on January 20th, I said be not afraid, and this is the psychic challenge here. You can see that in the psychic challenge it talked about how this error is about the people, and he will learn very quickly not to piss them off, but that he will. His ambition is greater than his action, but that he will fail and piss off the people, for that they will personally see fit to extort him out, for that he doesn't belong. So, yeah. Now, it did say here many times in this psychic challenge that it talked about how they were going to punish him because he manipulated with time, and essentially he was going to suffer, and the country's going to suffer temporarily, and it's going to see its downfall, major destruction, but it was designed to do so as a punishment to Donald Trump to try and limit his power and control on the American people, because the American people and its future does not rely solely on the ideology that the Donald Trump administration is currently trying to push. So that is what we're getting here. I'm not really surprised or shocked. Is there anything else? Okay, they want me to look at the stock market, so we're going to take a look at the stock market. And then I know some of you guys asked about Bitcoin and all those, so we'll take a look at Bitcoin as well. Again, everything in this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for life purposes only. I did not go in with the intention of doing the economy. For some reason, that was not even on my radar, but I guess it was something I needed to talk about, so I guess we're talking about it. And it makes sense, though, because this is the Great Alignment, and the, the year of the Chinese snake is on January 29th, 2025. So it's possible it could happen sometime after that, because the alignment is going to be, you're going to start to see the shift taking place now in the economy, but you kind of won't see it starting to take its effect until the 29th when we hit the lunar Chinese year of the snake. Which I think the soonest it can happen will be the 29th of this month, all the way to much later around April, March, even May. So those will kind of be the window that we will see it. He's going to consolidate his power in February. So I'm assuming it will be sometime around March, April, or May. He's going to see some major problems in the economy. Which makes a lot of sense because if you have it now, people blame Biden because Trump just got in. But so I don't think it's going to happen that quickly because I do think it's going to take a little bit because it's going to seem that sudden. But I think it's going to start. You're going to start to see its effect. You're going to start to see the alignment now in the economy. But you won't start to see really a big effect until the 29th. I think you're going to kind of see the trend heading into not even a recession at this point. This is kind of like a depression, like the greatest depression compared to the last one. All right, so this is definitely going to last year. This does not look like it's going to last a little bit. It's not going to be like 2008. It's going to be a little bit bigger than that. I did say, if I'm correct, again, don't quote me on this if I'm wrong, but I think I said in that video, I think I said 30% unemployment, which is a pretty high percentage because, like, that's pretty bad. All right, so spiritual angels, tell me about the United States. Tell me about the United States as a stock market. What is going on? Okay, so what is going on in the United States stock market? So, again, like I said, I don't do financial advice here on the channel, so this is just for entertainment purposes only. But if you do have investments into the stock market, what I'm getting from the cards, not from my personal advice, from the cards, is maybe you should put it on conservative mode. If I were you, conservative mode is basically allowing your the money that you invest into the stock market to be in conservative. I mean, it's very restrictive in a term of its nature, so it doesn't put it in high risk investment. It puts it in high reward investment with very low risk. And so you're able to not suffer as much damage as somebody who put their money in a high risk account. Although the benefits are great if the economy is doing really well, but the economy crashes and the stock market crashes, you'd lose a lot of money with that. But being conservative, you kind of don't really take a dent. So put your thing in conservative if you can, especially if you have investment. Again, not financial advice. This is just what I'm getting in the cards, and it's for entertainment purposes only. What's going on with the stock market in the U.S.? It feels soon. It feels like rather soon. Okay, can I use this here? So can I use this? Okay. We have the Justice card reverse, the Republicans lose control. And then here we have the fighting on the top. That's reversed as well. Yeah, the stock market definitely doesn't look good. Nah, it's done. Okay, so it's interesting because every time we did the freedom for the economy, we had the leadership kind of in this position. I think she was over here actually. Well, the woman was over here. This one was over here somewhere. But we did have the election card here. And here you see the woman in reverse, but you see the man upright. This is Trump here. So this is the card that always represents Trump. He is the emperor. The emperor. So now, what does this mean, and what does this talk about? Well, we talked about how, a lot of the Republicans, the reason why Trump was supposed to take office, if he was essentially to all the promises that he made need to crash down. It needs to burn. That includes the economy and the stock market. That Donald Trump is good for the economy. That the Republicans are good for the economy. It needs to crash down. We saw it back in 2020. It's going to be probably triple that, right? I think he lost $7 trillion, or added $7 trillion to the national debt. It will be quadruple that, or even three times more that. So I'll probably say like an addition of like $21 trillion in the national debt or something like that, somewhere within that ball range. But I'm seeing 24, so it could be $21 to $24 trillion in national debt under the Donald Trump presidency. Going back though, we have the 6 of Wands here reversed, which is the victory card. So we're asking about the stock market. I don't have a lot of confidence in the stock market, to be honest. It's again not financial advice. I don't really have a lot of confidence in the stock market right now. I don't see it. Doesn't show up in the cards. It's not good odds. Based on the energy and the feeling, it feels like there's a little bit of energy, like very little, but it's so spread out you don't even feel it. Under here, though, we have the 4 of Cups reverse. And this is investors. This is like businesses coming out of the blue. They're going to crash. You want to know what it feels like? It feels like zombie businesses. Like, you know what zombie businesses? They were propped up in 2008 during the 2008 recession. It was invented in Japan. It was adopted here by the Obama administration and the Bush administration. What they did was essentially they took businesses that were dying and instead of them, quote unquote, going completely out of business and tanking the economy and the stock market, they liquidated them and allowed them to be able to have retail space, but there's actually empty and vacant. There's actually no workers or employment, but the government will pump money into those businesses to make it look like they were making money for the country, but really, in retrospect, they were essentially dead corporation that does not make a profit at all. They were just being pumped with taxpayer dollars to keep it afloat so the economy and the stock market does not tank. What it's saying here, though, that Donald Trump does not care about that, and so he's going to just stop giving them money, and it's going to tank. And, its problem is when you put a temporary Band-Aid, it's bound to be ripped off eventually. This is a temporary fixture that should have never been put in place because this is probably one of the worst financial policies that could be even enacted. We saw they collapse in Japan not too long ago, I think 2 years ago. They collapsed with that zombie business, and it tanked the economy and entered Japan into a depression, I believe. No, a recession. Entered Japan into a recession. Trump will be no different. Here we have what's it called? Trump coming in to slash it. It feels like Trump coming in to slash it, which is the Knight of Swords. And then here we have the Queen of Cups, uncontrolled. I don't know what it is that he's doing, but he is uncontrollable when it comes to the economy. Whatever he's doing, it feels like the economy is just going to happen so quickly, it's uncontainable. It's like uncontrollable. Like he's doing something that's uncontrollable. Like it almost feels like, this is what it feels like. I'm going to explain it to you. It feels like as if he is doing this because he wants like the recognition from his supporters and saying, oh, I'm doing this for you guys, but I'm really not. But he's just giving them temporary happiness to kind of get their sympathy and support. It feels like to me that while he's not paying attention to the long-term effects of it, he's paying attention to the short-term benefits, and that's going to have a major problem. That's why it's happened, and it's happened at an uncontrollable pace, because when it starts to all add up, potentially illegal mass deportation, all those type of things, it's going to tank the economy. When you start to capitulate all of them together, it starts boom, 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 and it starts to become uncontrollable. I don't think he's going to be able to contain it. Whatever he's doing, he's going to slash it, and by the time he realizes the problem, it's too late. Like, it feels like it's really too late for whatever happened in terms of the stock market. So the stock market, as of right now, it looks like it's going to crash. We have the High Priestess card reversed. We have, this feels like somebody who's very stable, understood, knows the law, they know the rule, they know how to play the game. This is somebody who's in reverse here. I'm going to be honest with you, and I never say this, but he's an absolute moron. Because it feels like to me, he does not know actually how to do the economy, how to do it right. He just does not know what he's doing. And people are going to start to realize that. He might have a business degree, but oh man, he's terrible. Terrible. Underneath the Six of Wands here, we have the Betrayal card. And the betrayal card means that, oh, you're not going to be betrayed, so he's not going to betray his people. So whatever he does in terms of his policies and executive orders and his legislation, it's going to hurt the people, specifically those who did not vote for him. But again, like I said, it makes sense because I talked about this earlier, that he comes in support of trying to make himself look good for his people. But in retrospect, it starts tanking the economy at an uncontrollable rate. It starts tanking the stock market at an uncontrollable rate. Because when you start to add them all up, it starts to happen boom, 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 boom. Underneath here, we have the Four of Cups reversed, followed by the Five of Cups reversed. This is telling me the refusal to look ahead. Because he's looking at those two cups, he's not looking at the loss. So it feels like to me, although this is somebody who's looking at loss and disparity and not looking at what still the opportunities are, in this aspect, Donald Trump is looking at the two cups. What can he gain from this, despite the losses that are trending? So you're going to start to see the trend, like I said, the trend starting to take alignment now. It'll take about a couple of days, and then we go into the year of the snake, and then you're going to start to see the trend really become more pronounced. So that's going to take place on January 29th. You're going to start to see the trend of his effect and executive orders and stuff like that he's done in the United States. The Three of Cups being turned over is telling me here that he is not paying attention to the trends. He's paying attention to the short-term benefits over the long-term benefits. So I guess regardless of how I was reading it, it's still going to come out with the same result. Here we have the Knight of Swords, him trying to come in with slashing of regulations and, slashing of certain things. It causes the Ace of Pentacles to go down, so this has to be, like, handing over money. So something in regards to, like, giving money, like I said, zombie businesses, and, like, maybe he's potentially going to stop laws or something where small businesses cannot receive money or information, something like that. It feels like as well he's going to start slashing. So anything that could be a competition with the big boys, he's going to get rid of. So whether that is, it's going to tank the economy, because even though the economy is solely based on the monopoly and the monopoly within the United States, um, the small businesses within the United States have exponentially grown since 2020, and because of that, just say when Trump does it, it's going to tank the economy, because they represent, like, I think 12 or 10% of the economy. I'm just giving you a rough estimate here based on what I'm getting in my third eye. I don't know if that's actually legit, so please correct me in the comment section below if I am wrong about that, because I don't really know. That's what I got, and so I'm just saying it. But under the Queen of Cups here, we have the Ace of Cups reversed, and this is a card that's uncontrollable, right? This means a cap, a control situation, because the lid is on the cup. It's reversed, which means that this is an uncontrollable situation. And with that uncontrollable situation, we have the Ace of Cups that kind of flows nicely and evenly. This is definitely by any means flowing nicely and evenly. This is erratic, chaotic. I feel like it's going to be like one of those water fountains that you probably see like outside of somebody's home. They get like a water fountain and it's defected. And you start seeing the water spread in multiple different ways. It's not calm. It's not even. It's not collected. It's kind of chaotic, and the water's splattering everywhere, and it's like a hot mess. Kind of like that. It looks like a big spray, like someone popped a hole in the pipe, and just the water starts bursting at you in every different direction. It's like, how do you clean up the mess? Because it's like bam, 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 like so many things getting wet that it's hard to know where you're containing and what to protect first. Because do you cover up the hole and deal with the problem with a temporary band-aid, or do you just move everything out of the way to prevent further damage? Or like, how do you do that? It's kind of like what it feels like. It feels like there is no course in terms of direction. Like, this is something that he did not anticipate for some reason, but he just did not anticipate that. We have authority here, so he is going to organize authority. So it feels like with the first card that I got here, that people are going to be protesting or be very angry with him, and he's going to do something that asserts authority. Something that is a little bit along the lines of authoritarianism. It's kind of like, I kind of feel like this is nationwide. This is not like just statewide. This feels like nationwide. This feels like people are protesting because they're out of work and that they're angry. And when people are out of work and they're hungry, unable to afford food, once inflation goes up, and they always say this all the time, that there's always a fine line between hunger and anger. When people are hungry, they get angry, and you don't want to mess with people who are hungry and angry. You got to feed them. They're not feeding them, because the rich people are like, oh, they can't afford food, blah, blah, blah. Are you stupid? Like, I mean, really, like, when people are angry and can't afford basic necessities, that makes them angry, and they're going to take it to the streets. And here we have Trump exerting dominance. He's exerting dominance here. So something that he's going to do is going to assert authority. The people are not going to like that. I said many times, he's going to do things that's going to piss so many people off, and it's just going to make people see his true colors. And, he will hit some of his own supporters. And I do see that here. I feel like what I'm seeing is that some of his supporters are protesting, but then he said, go hit them. I mean, his own supporters get whipped or hit. But like, I'm seeing like what's it called? Like a bar, like a pipe or something. They get hit with a pipe. So I wonder if like they're protesting for Trump, or like for Trump against the people who are protesting against Trump because of what happened in the economy. And then Trump tells whoever it is he tells to go hit them. Even anyway, just hit both parties. We don't care. Just hit them both. And they feel like betrayed. The people feel betrayed. His own supporters feel betrayed. Here we have it, the Knight of Cups reversed. He's not going to walk away from that. This economic downturn, this stock market downturn, is not something he's going to walk away from. This is going to be something that stains him, because this is something that takes out the true colors, the true nature of who he really is as an individual. This is going to be something that hurts him long term. Without a doubt, this is something that hurts him. At the top of the card here, we have protest, but it's in reverse right now because it hasn't happened. But it's reversed, and it's the 5 of Wands. And here we have the Justice card reversed. He's not going to be able to control. I don't think he's going to be able to control it. I really don't. We're going to read on inflation. and food prices. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to want to know that, get at least basic necessities, and, well, I would like to know if I'm going to be able to eat tomorrow, you know. So I'm sure and positive that all of you guys feel the same exact way as I do. So we are going to read on the inflation and the food together and see if maybe they come up together simultaneously. And then we'll read on the US tariffs and Bitcoin and all that jazz. And then we'll finish up the reading today. And then hopefully I'll do another video out later on. Hopefully. Okay, so let's go and take a look. Spirits and angels. Tell me about inflation and food prices. What's going on with inflation and food prices? So here we have the Queen of Cups again. Ace of Cups reversed. Yeah, no. It's done. He's toast. Yeah, he's done. He's toast. He's toast. These are not even good cards. Nope, he's done. He's done. He's effed. Here is the Page of Wands reverse, and here we have the Seven of Cups reverse, right? This is option. He ran out of options, is what it feels like. So we're talking about inflation, we're talking about food prices together. That's what's coming in the reading together, actually. Ironically enough, we actually have a very bad situation for Trump. Very bad situation. Here we have the Ace of Cups reverse. He's not helping the situation. For any of you guys who voted for Donald Trump, thinking that he was going to lower the gas prices, the food prices, whatever, it's not happening. Sorry, it's not happening. Nope, it's not happening. Because it's followed by the Tower card. Sorry, he's not going to keep his promise. And what to call it? It feels like to me it's going to be a breakup for many people because they thought, oh, if I vote for the opposite party, they'll represent me more because they're out of power. They keep going back and forth, Democrat, Republican, thinking that one is going to support the other when the other one is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? It's a theatrical play point. This is the Tower card. The Tower card is resembling here that the stock market and the prices are just going to keep rising. They're going to keep rising. And that they are going to become in an uncontrollable state. I think there's going to be a fine line between hunger and food. I really do. I do think that under this administration, we're going to see a lot of people go hungry. And they're going to be angry. Under here, we have the Queen of Swords. This has to do with the slashing of regulation. Oh my God. Okay, whatever. Regulation. That's what I meant to say. The Queen of Swords represents the slashing of regulation. This is important because it's talking about how those regulations were put in place to ensure that the prices of inflation does not go higher. I think if I'm correct, Joe Biden did something in terms of inflation that deals with the situation at hand. This feels like Donald Trump is going to reverse that if he had not done so already. It feels like he is going to reverse it and is going to skyrocket the inflation. What's also going to be enabled here, I'm seeing money being handed over to big corporations from the consumers, which means that things will be cost way more than they should. Which means that I feel like it's going to be triple the price of everything. So for example, let's say eggs back in 2020 cost like, no, let's do 2022. The price of eggs I think was around $20. The price of eggs under the Donald Trump administration would be roughly around $60 in terms of reference here. But that's a big jump. People are going to notice that. That's not something you can hide. We have the Queen of Swords reversed. It's corporate greed. It is the oligarchy. And it is Trump. They really think that you can milk the country out of money and really think that people are just going to accept it. Really think that's the best way to go. Here we have the King of Cups reversed. This is, like I said before Trump took office, that this was the card that represented Biden. However, this is now the card that represents a calm leader in a time of chaos. This is actually calm water in a chaotic leader, which means that Trump will cause chaos in the midst of calmness. So there won't ever really be a sense of peace under Donald Trump's presidency, because he will cause a lot of chaos even when things are quiet. Even when things are not happening, things will happen. He will make them happen because he wants to be on the news. So he's going to do that. That is the King of Cups here. So what is that in regard to inflation and gas and all that, food prices? Well, he's going to be on the news in some way or not. It might not be because he wants to be on the news for the information that gets out, but he's going to be there. Now, it's interesting, though. It's interesting because it feels like I'm seeing a dynamic here. I'm seeing a dynamic play out where he's going to control the legacy media. And we'll talk about this in another video in regards to TikTok. TikTok was a very important event that took place because it essentially solidified the fascist regime that Trump is trying to orchestrate within the U.S. government, and that the banner of TikTok enabled and allowed for the installment of fascism. And the Democrats were very wrong in this aspect, and we're going to have to read if they were complicit in it, which I believe that they, in some capacity, some of them were. We'll talk about that in another video. But the control of the legacy media is a big problem because it basically allowed Trump to push a certain narrative to the people because it's controlled media source. However, social media is not as much as controlled as legacy media, and therefore people can interact with one another and say, hey, listen, I'm not experiencing that, I'm not experiencing this, I'm not experiencing that. Things are going to start to, people are not going to be able to really listen to the media and get the information that they need. They have to listen to each other. That is where the news source comes from. It's from each other. It's not from, the media from one person to the next. It's from each other. Me talking to you, from you guys online. Oh no, it's expensive here in Texas, but you guys see online. Oh, Texas is doing great, the best economy ever. But you're like, oh, Texas is doing terrible. And the ambiance and the energy between that, like, oh no, I know somebody from Texas. They're telling me it's trash. I know somebody from Texas. That's the energy. It feels like he's not going to be able to control the flow of information because of social media, not because of legacy media. He's going to control the legacy media without a 100% doubt, which is why I won't even be entertaining anything in terms of CNN, MSNBC, all of them. Screw them all. I'm not listening to them. The Queen of Cups is really where you want it to go. You want to go there. Now, here's what I will say, though. There are going to be a couple podcasts on YouTube. They're part and associated with legacy media. So do not be, do not engage with that and say, oh, well, they're a podcast. That's how they're also getting you as well, because it's a podcast. So just be careful if they're partnering with legacy media. Just kind of listen to your gut and intuition and determine whether or not they're telling you the truth or lying to you. That's all you need to know. Now we have the Queen of Cups. This is uncontrollable. Again, uncontrollable. I feel like the inflation and the prices are just going to keep boom, 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 boom. It'll keep going higher. And he's telling me, oh, the economy's great. Don't worry about it. Don't look. Right? People are going to experience some hardships because of wages. As prices go up, wages go down. We have here underneath the Ace of Cups reversed, we have the High Priestess reversed. And the High Priestess reversed is not knowing what the hell you're doing. It's really what it's telling me here. He does not know what he's doing. Now, a lot of you guys are probably being very scared right now, very in a state of hunger. Like, I'm actually right now, I'm hungry. And I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of scared about the information I'm telling you. Do not be scared. Be prepared. And now, this is what this says here in the Psychic Challenge in terms of Donald Trump's book. And I wanted to read it to you because I feel like this book gives you a little bit of calmness in your own heart and understanding about the world that you live in. Okay? Make no mistake, this wasn't supposed to happen. But they managed to do something not yet known to man and abuse the knowledge for 4 years of power, which is pathetic in itself. So it's talking about like how they took information that they knew and they manipulated time in a fashion to, like, for example, maybe information regarding computer system and how they work, something like that, if that's even something that it's referring to. But what it is saying here that they did it just for 4 years of power, and they're saying that it's pathetic in itself to even do that. Therefore, we decided to make his time in office hell. Take pleasure knowing you can enjoy his suffering. For that he did not want to become president. LOL. He will learn to not mess with us and our people. He will cause temporary destruction in the United States, but it will backfire 10 times more on him. There is more for us to say at this time, but we will save it for the next time. So enjoy the ride, and soon she'll be your guy. End of channel at 11:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 1st, 2025. So that is this second channel in here. So that's what I got. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the channel, because although Trump did not receive the justice that we have all hoped, time and the divine says, oh, listen, Trump may have not received justice as the way that we wanted it to happen in the legal standpoint, but in some way, time will make him have justice. And it feels constantly again when I read on Trump's future, he has problems as president. He has problems. That is where his justice comes in. Yeah, justice might not be served in a legal standpoint, but justice gets served in other fashions, in other ways. This is being manifested through the stock market, the inflation, the economy, through his health, the people, the protesting, the age of Aquarius, right? This is the age of Aquarius. Donald Trump took, if he did this back in 2020 and was successful, he will be successful in what he did. However, in this timeline, he chose the people's time, the people's election, the people's choice. He took it. So he's going to pay the price. And the universe said, no. This is the age of Aquarius. This is when people realize their power. It makes sense because if you had Harris as president, you don't realize your power because, well, this person's working for you. So how can you have and hone in on your power if a woman is in power who's helping you? You need somebody who is not helping you to realize your own inner worth and to raise that power to help you and guide you and to push you in the right direction. So it starts to make a lot more sense why Trump was put into office, or why Trump was allowed to go into office, because he ushered in the age of Aquarius with the age of the people, honing your power, knowing your worth. We don't even know our worth if Harris was president, because Harris would have done the right thing for us. But Trump wouldn't, and that's what made it very drastically important and very different. Although Harris was supposed to be president, Trump took it away from her, and therefore a timeline had shifted, and this is the new timeline that we entered into, where we, the people, have the power, not Trump. Okay. Under the Tower card here, we have the Death card. This is a rebirth, a transformation. This is reversed. The reason why this is reversed is not because the economy and it's not because the stock market prices and everything come crashing down and that they become lower priced and cheaper. This is instead talking about, well, this is dead, something that's been removed, gone, whatever, literal standpoint. This is not dead. This is something that is alive and is currently ongoing. We have inflation. We have high prices. We have high gas prices. We have low wages and stuff like that. That falls underneath the Tower card, which means that things are just going to get worse in terms of inflation. It's going to get worse in terms of gas prices, food prices, and stuff like that. This is the Death card reversed. Now, underneath the Queen of Swords reversed here, we have the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is referring to the aspect here about justice, doing the right thing for the people, right? This is the consumer, this is the investors. The money is going to the investors, not to the people. This is the oligarchy here. This is the card that represents the oligarchy. And we're starting to understand now the new playbook and what new cards mean, because we shifted out of the Biden-Harris administration and we entered into the Trump-Vance administration, and we're starting to see this start to take place and start to shift into the narrative. Underneath the King of Cups reversed, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of Wands reversed, and the 7 of Wands reversed is indicating lack of pushback, right? This is not because of the people, but this is because he creates chaos when there is no chaos. He creates chaos and silence. And that's why it's important, because this card upright is chaos already on the way. It is reversed, which means it's silent. He causes chaos, which means he's going to cause problems from his own self. This is self-inflicted wound, something that would have never happened had he just not self-inflicted it. Which means whatever happened in terms of inflation and food prices and gas prices, these are self-inflicted wounds caused directly by Donald Trump himself. Under here, the Queen of Cups reversed, which is the uncontrollable state, we have domestic. This is domestic, right? Uncontrollable prices within the United States. Here we have the Page of Pentacles. This is actually indicating here to me as well because it's referring to tariffs. Because the tariff card is reversed here, it's saying that the tariff is not actually going to be taxed in the country, but instead it's going to be applied to the consumer, which is why it's domestic. Here we have the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles means he's going to try and stimulate the economy, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be like, for example, the prices of eggs, like I said, it's going to be roughly around $60 by happenstance, because it's going to quadruple the prices of what happened in 2022. It's going to quadruple those prices. What does that mean? The Republicans are going to give stimulus checks. But we saw how simply they were on those stimulus checks. They were like, oh, no, $600, $600. That's how much everybody needs to survive for a month, $600. If the price of eggs for a loan costs $60 hypothetically, imagine what the loaf of bread will cost, or water, or even like just can of foods. Imagine how much that's going to cost. It's going to skyrocket. It's going to be a lot of money. The stimulus checks are going to be ineffective, if any at all. So, with that being said, here we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 7 of Cups reversed, lack of option, lack of opportunity. This is the inexperienced leader. Although he was a leader in the past, he is so wily, and I don't mean to be crude about this, but this feels like, to me, like I have to say this, dumb when it comes to the economy. Like, this man does not know what he's doing. Like, he is probably one of the most stupidest businessmen you can imagine, and I never really criticize somebody like that, but I'm being openly honest with you, he is stupid. Like, I mean, I'm looking at these cards already, and he's just straight up stupid. And I'm not trying to use the other word, but just straight up stupid. And here we have trouble. When you ask a businessman to run a country like a business, he will run it like a business. Okay? And we all know how Trump businesses turned out. He bankrupt them all. You really think the United States could be any different? And it doesn't take a scientist to predict that, or it doesn't take a psychic to predict that. I'm not predicting that. Because I read energy, and the energy has not shifted from years ago. It has not shifted. This is still the same energy. The energy is still relevant till today, and it makes a lot more sense now because we now understand why the information I got back then is so prevalent this very second. Actually, I should, if you wanted to, I could re-upload the video and put the link to that previous video in the description below if you guys are interested, and you guys can go and watch that video if you like, and you'll be like, oh my god, stuff like that. But if I were you, and this is not financial advice, this is just for entertainment purposes only, I would start buying food. I would start packing now because the economy is going to tank. The prices of food are going to be a lot. My advice to you, if you know how to garden, seeds. Get seeds that are not GMO. Get them with heirloom. Get heirloom seeds. Why is that important? Because heirloom means original, which means that it can produce seeds. You can take those seeds, store them, and then regrow them the next year, saving you money in the long run. Learn to grow plants. Learn to grow garden. That is going to be your essential standpoint. If you don't know how to garden, get food, stock up now. Go to your local Trader Joe's. Go to your local Dollar Tree, go to your local Aldi's, Lidl, go to those places, go get some cheap stuff, start packing away now. Get things that are unperishable, things that you can last on. But don't tell people you have this money saved up. Don't tell them you have this food saved up because they will come and raid your house otherwise. So do not tell anybody you're stocking up. Just stock up, don't tell nobody. Quiet, but feed yourself. Quiet, but feed yourself. Okay, so we're going to read on the U.S. tariff now. This is probably going to be one of the biggest economy videos I've done in a very long time. Okay. Spirit Angel, tell me about the U.S. tariffs in the United States. The U.S. tariffs in the United States. What's going on with the U.S. tariffs in terms of the economy, the stock market, gas prices, grocery prices? What's going on with U.S. tariffs? It's not walking away from it. Yeah, no. He's not walking away from it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's so stupid. Oh, he thinks he's special, isn't he? Oh, he's special, alright, I'll tell you that. He's a special kind of stupid. But you know what? This is what the people voted for. This is what the people in the South voted for. This is what the uneducated voters wanted. This is what the people who are disengaged with the politics of the nation. This is what they deserved. They deserve exactly what's coming. Because if you're unengaged and you're disengaged and you're not paying attention to the politics of everything, you deserve exactly what's coming to you. And I'm not saying to you guys, because you guys are actively engaged, you constantly vote, you go out and vote, you know exactly what's going on in the government. These are people who don't care, who go out and vote once every 4 years. These are people who don't pay attention. These are people who do not care. These are people who are easily persuaded by propaganda and stuff like that, who are uneducated, don't know how to read. You know, ironically enough, I just found this out. I did not even know this. But 25% of the U.S. general population only reads at a 5th grade level. When you look at the other percentage as well, another 20 to 30% reads at a 3rd grade level. The 3rd grade level is 30% of the U.S. population. 25% represent exactly the 5th grade level of reading. That's horrible, right? And it makes sense because those people are really gonna get it where it really hurts, and they're gonna learn. Well, they're gonna have to learn because they better be engaged, and they're gonna be engaged, all right. Here we have things upheaval, right? We're talking about tariffs, right? This is important. Now, if you guys don't know what tariffs are, it's essentially a tax on exported goods. So exported goods are, well, imported goods. So imported goods like from China, from India, countries that make goods in their own country get brought into the United States and sold here in our stores, or even in retail places or warehouses like Amazon. They get taxed. But the tariff is basically another tax. It's a new terminology that was adopted in the early, the early 1700s when the United States was founded. And because of the revolution and the high nature of everybody feeling very taboo about the word tax and taxation, but the King George III, they decided to come up with the word tariffs. So tariffs, it means another new word for tax on imported goods, which means it's a tax on the consumer because the businessmen don't want to pay the taxes, so they're going to put it on the consumer, the buyer. Therefore, you pay the tariffs. So he wants to do, I think, a 20% increase on goods, which means a 20% increase. So just say, for example, let's do this way. Just say a cow's cost $5.99. Let's just show you. I'll show you what the math is. So $5.99, which is the normal price of the couch. Now with the tariffs, it would be $718.80. That's not including tax in your own state, plus regional tax. This couch alone would have cost you around $700. However, this couch is going to cost you around $900 with tax, or even with all the regional tax, it may even cost you around $800. But the moral of the story is 20% tax increase is a lot. And imagine the prices that we just talked about with groceries, with foods and all those. Let's say, for example, $60 worth of eggs, right? Let's say the prices of eggs quadruple, because that's a little what we just talked about. The price of eggs, let's say, for example, is $60, right? And you times that by 0.20, what's it, 12, so 60? It's $72 for maybe a dozen eggs. I'm assuming that's the price of a dozen eggs. It's going to be $72. And then include tax. Eggs would cost you roughly around $85 with U.S. tariffs. If you don't think that's going to wake up people, they got to be some kind of special. They got to be really special because, like, how can you defend somebody who is clearly obvious, unqualified for the office? And here we have the Hierophant reverse. The Hierophant upright, followed by decision. This is the top of the card. This is the top of the deck. Now, on the bottom deck here, we have uprooted. Now, when I read impartial. My opinion is formulated on what I'm reading. Because I'm open and I am receptive to all that can and will be, including but not limited to my belief and things changing based on the card. Because I actually base my opinions off of what I get in the card. And the cards, well, he's something else is what I'm going to tell you. He's something. He's something all right. And here we have is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups reverse means not walking away from the idea, not walking away from the concept. he's definitely not walking away from it. He's actually going to do it. This is a guy who's definitely going to do it. He's determined to do it. Here we have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is reversed. And the Queen of Swords is not about it means determination and going forward, looking ahead, looking straight, standing your ground. This is reversed, which tells me that he is going to do this. This is not a mental thought. This is a physical thought. Something that is not mental, but something physical. This is a physical thing that's going to happen. He's going to do it. And he's going to slash it. Now, a lot of people think, oh, tariffs are going to be like, in his mind, he might be telling, oh, it's a way to help the people. But really, it's not really a way to help the people. What he's doing essentially is, oh, well, the country I don't care about because it's only 4 years. They can't vote me out. There's nothing they can do because they voted me in. The Queen of Swords, though, is representing something entirely different. What he is doing now is he essentially said, well, they can't vote me out. I'm in. I'm done. That's all I need to do. I don't care about the country. I don't need to because, well, I don't have another election to run for. The Queen of Swords reversed is also indicating that what he is planning to do is essentially rack up the prices so high that the businesses gain profit and the consumers gain nothing. Slashing regulation is what he's going to do. Slash regulation. I don't know why my mouth can't speak to that. Here we have the next card, which is the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is the opportunity, giving money, giving money, giving money. This is the people. This is all that they can afford. Right? Will this do? Will that do? Can I get this? You know, like it feels like the people like just barely scraping by, like, can I get it? And the government tells them, I don't care. Because you deal with it. It's your problem, not mine. You deal with it. This is your issue. That's what it feels like to me. And the card that follows after is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is coming in, defeating the incumbent. What defeats Trump? It's the tariffs. The tariffs killed Trump, literally. Not like physically, but it killed his power. It killed his idea, his persona, his spell, his curse, his cast that he put on his people. It killed his image. It killed his image. Because remember, there was a culmination of things happening in the economy and the stock market. There was a culmination. It was just not one thing. But a lot of it is self-sabotage. There was a lot of self-inflicted wounds. This is caused directly by Donald Trump and none other than Donald Trump himself. And there are a lot of reasons why a lot of countries around the world are going to recover pretty quickly, where the economy in the United States is not. Here's why. A lot of countries around the world adopted to use BRICS, which is a new formality create a new currency around the world, a new global currency. The US dollar is going to crash, without a doubt. A lot of countries are going to pull out, and by pulling out of the US dollar, they're essentially preventing themselves from a big recession. They're going to have a temporary recession, but they're essentially going to pull out of the US dollar in some capacity, and it's going to tank it even further. And they're going to not have as much of a global effect. So what happened in the United States seemed to be a little bit more contained, only within the legalities of the United States itself. But the United States really had nothing really to offer any other country. The United States is a big consumer, but it doesn't seem to be offering a lot of countries. A lot of countries will be able to recover and find other buyers, but the United States won't recover because it's losing sellers, it's losing business in the United States from other countries. Here we have the Seven of Pentacles reversed, and the Seven of Pentacles is interesting because the Seven of Pentacles in this aspect is talking about the fact that, okay, we're talking about tariffs here. We're talking about like almost a lot of things. He said, oh, I'm not going to put tariffs on that, but he put tariffs on everything. And it feels like the way it works, and if I'm understanding things correctly, is that just say the United States has American steel industry, right? And they make a certain part for a car. And that part needs to get shipped out to China to be part of a car and a model, and just say they're making a Tesla car in China, for example. They need this metal. It's only metal made in the United States. It gets exported out to China. China makes the car and then ships the same car that you just pay taxes on, well, they pay taxes on, gets shipped back to the U.S. with all the pieces that was made in the U.S., and then you pay a tariff on every single piece to make that a car, the full assembly, right? That is the idea here, that everything gets taxed regardless. Everything gets put tariffs on. Here we have, underneath the Eight of Cups reversed, is something that's definitely in the works. something, I'm pretty certain this is something that's going to happen. I almost feel very confident, like 99% sure, a confidence rate that this is definitely something that he's going to do. This is the tariff, he's going to do it. Here underneath the Queen of Swords reverse, we have the Nine of Cups. Ignorance. This is pure ignorance, is what it feels like. The ability to be handed an economy and to crash the economy on purpose is what it feels like. He's going to do it, and he's going to stuff it big time. Remember, I always said he's a special kind of, he's a special individual. And he's going to run the country like a business, and he's going to make it bankrupt, essentially. But you know what? That's the best way to do it, because essentially, if you could bankrupt a nation, you can only go so far, and then you can only go so high, right? If he crashes us, we can start improving, we can start healing. We can go from the bottom up again. And this will be a learning experience. Under the Page of Pentacles, though, the Page of Pentacles is people trying to give money, trying to afford basic necessities. Here we have the Knight of Wands, Trump running away from basic necessity, giving people the ability to afford certain things. He's running away in the opposite direction. And here we have the Ace of Swords, which means this is the thing that defeats Trump. This is defeats his image, his persona, who he is, right? How people perceive him. Under the card, though, we have is followed by the Seven of Swords. Stealing. This is how they view him. Somebody who steals. Somebody who works for the oligarchy, not for the people. And here we have the Tower of taxing everything, putting tariffs on everything. We have the Lovers card in reverse. And the Lovers card is, in this aspect, it's indicating to me that there is a lack of unity here now. It looks like a lack of unity. But there is a light in the midst of all this. There is a light that will be shined on the United States, even in this darkness. There will be a light that will be shined. Again, like I said, don't be scared. There's no reason to be scared. Just be prepared, and like the channel instead, enjoy to see him suffering, because this is his justice. This is what he's going to get. This is how Spirit's going to do it. Yeah, Spirit maybe might not put him in jail, but he never wanted to be president in the first place. He only did it because he wanted to be protected. But karma, and we all know that you cannot escape karma. Karma will find you in a way, and this is his karma. This is Trump's future. This is Trump's fate. And yet all of us may have to do like, oh, I don't want this outcome because we're going to stop it. Listen, the odds are stacks for us. It may not look it. We may not understand it. But understanding why the economy crashes and why these things happen, it's not because it's a punishment to us. Don't ever assume it's a punishment by Spirit to you guys. It's not a punishment. But rather take it as a formality of understanding that it allows us to shift into where we want to be and where we got to go. And it's all part of our agreement. We agreed to this on a soul contract level to be in this very moment, at this very point in time, to experience about the downfall of the United States and the renewal of a new one. Right? This is the ending of the United States as we know it. This is the ending of the presidency as you know it. This is the ending of Trump. This is the end of Trump. This is how he falls. Right? But they're saying that you need to just sit back, relax, and allow it to unfold. Yeah, we may take some hits here and there, but like we said, it's only temporary. But you want to know what isn't temporary? The punishment for Donald Trump. Donald Trump got away with it for so long, he got lucky. He got lucky. His luck has run out. His luck has run out. Now, we're going to take 3 cards. I know some of you guys are wondering about Bitcoin and all those type of things. We're going to take 3 cards, see what happened in there. I don't know anything about it. I know nothing. So this will be a blind reading for you guys in that aspect. For those of you guys, spirits and angels, in terms of Bitcoin, this is not financial advice. I'm not responsible for anything you do outside this video. Again, entertainment purposes only. All right, so spirits and angels, tell me about what's happening with like the electronic currencies like Bitcoin and all those other weird things. What's going on with electronic currencies? It feels weird. I definitely feel weird about this. So here we have the Knight of Cups reverse, the Hangman reverse. We have the Ten of Cups upright. We are fighting underneath the Knight of Cups reverse. We have here the Page of Cups reversed underneath the reversed Hanged Man. We have the Two of Swords upright underneath the Ten of Cups upright. And here on the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Swords reversed, which means out of power, out of position. And here we have no pushback. No pushback. Why is there no pushback? Because we have the future. And what's happening in the future? We have soulmate. So I do think that based on what I'm getting here already, the Bitcoin is going to be kind of stalled, or something with electronic monetary currencies is going to be stalled in some capacity, maybe growth. It feels like it's kind of stagnant. Like it doesn't decrease, but it doesn't increase. It's just kind of stagnant. Like it just stays stabilized. Here we have the Knight of Cups reversed. The Knight of Cups is the opportunity for growth and something new coming in. This is kind of the reverse with telling me this is not something new. This is something that has been in the works for quite some time. So this is talking about the infrastructure that has been here. So if Bitcoin has been here prior to this reading, this is a part of that infrastructure. Under here, though, we have the Hangman reverse, which means consciousness, awareness, awakening. People are going to be investing heavily in these electronic currencies, particularly because that is the way that we're moving into. We're moving into the electronic wave, the wave of new technology, the wave of new way of doing things, the new currency, the new formality. People are going to be investing in it because they are going to see the Bitcoin stabilize for quite some time, compared to the stock market and the economy, which won't be doing so well, including gas prices and all those type of things. I do feel like it's going to stabilize for electronic currencies. Here we have the Ten of Cups here. There is a little bit of rewards that does seem to be coming out of it. I do feel like a lot of people are happy that they made this decision. So people are happy about the decision. However, behind the scenes, emotionally, this is for some. This is for some, this is for others. So if you resonate with this, this will be kind of like your path. If you resonate with this, it will be kind of more towards your path. Here we have the Five of... Oh, actually, okay, I understand now. Hold on. So taking back what I just said, this is electronic currency compared to the US dollar, the physical currencies. Here we have fighting. While things is not growing or decreasing, it's staying stable. The economy and the stock market, the physical currencies, is dropping. It is fighting to hold on. While the Hanged Man is up reversed and the consciousness and awareness of people are investing, Chip, no. While people are investing in, sorry about that, somebody showed up to the door. While the Hanged Man reverse does indicate what's it called, movement towards people investing, here we have the Page of Cups reversed, which is telling here that there is a lack of cup, a lack of opportunity, a lack of growth. I feel like there's an unemployment. So I do feel like there will be unemployment here while people are starting taking their money from unemployment and start investing into electronic currencies. Underneath the electronic currency, though, with the Ten of Cups upright, which is people celebrating that they're kind of like maintain the stem, we have the Two of Swords upright, which means making decisions. So some of these people will jump in, but they'll jump in later because they're hesitant to do electronic currencies. That's what I'm seeing for the electronic currencies here. And the King of Swords reverses means the physical is out, the new is in. And here we have the Queen of Cups stable. I do think that Bitcoin is one of those outliers, or even not Bitcoin in particular. I'm talking about Bitcoin because it's just a common phrase, but electronic currencies, whatever that may be, it's going to be stable during the time of upheaval in terms of the physical currency. So it seems to be that it's stabilized. It makes sense because it's the age of Aquarius, and the age of Aquarius is all about technology and something new. We the people will have control of the currency, which will be electronic rather than the physical. The physical can be manipulated by those in position of power, by inflating the money, by free printing. You cannot print out money electronically. So inflation will go down if you were to buy things with electronic currency. Anyway, that's all I see for right now. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Don't forget to share this video with others. Don't forget to share this video with others. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. And let me know in the comment section below what you do think and what you got in your reading and tarot cards as well. Until next time, I love you and have a good night.